Outlaw Law is brought to you by Whitaker and Hamer, attorneys and counselors at law. Your law firm for life.
Welcome back into the Outlaw Lawyers. Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, managing partners at Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm. They're your hosts, and again, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. Also joining us from Whitaker and Hamer, Cassandra Nichols. She is in the Morehead City office. And speaking of offices, they're pretty much everywhere. Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Varina, Gastonia, and again, as mentioned, Morehead City. Convenient locations for you. If you've got a legal situation you're facing and you've got questions, you can always call the firm, 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. Leave your contact information, briefly what the call's about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can always email your questions to the show, questions@theoutlawlawyer.com. I'm Morgan Patrick, consumer advocate and sometimes referee. Our next subject, we're going to talk about tobacco. R.J. Reynolds Company versus Bonta. Josh?
So, when I first started seeing the stories a year or two ago where people were, I'm not a big vape guy. The kids today with the vaping, I'm not a big vape guy.
Kids these days.
Yeah, these kids, man.
But, I saw that, there's a lot about, was it Juul? There's a lot of legislation about that. I don't really pay too much attention to that because that doesn't affect my day-to-day life. But when I saw that they were trying to lump flavored tobacco in with it, that bothered me.
Yeah, they're different things. There's a distinction there? You'd be a good Juul guy, man. Because you see the kids, but you just clouds of smoke tufting out of you.
Now Juul, correct me if I'm wrong, is done. They are no longer in existence.
Oh, well, too late for that then, man. You're going to have to
the company went under, had to pay a lot of damages.
Yeah. Well, give us a comparable brand.
What do you got?
I'm not a vapor.
No
I don't know anything about it. So.
Cassandra, you seem...
You're young.
You're our last hope. Yeah, you're one of these kids these
Juul
days.
Juul is the cute little dainty one. I don't know the names of the beefier ones, but those might be more distinguished.
The Chef Boyardee vape.
So this made me think of when I was writing this down, when I was thinking about what we talk about. One of the things that came up to me, which I thought was a good question that I've never really asked anybody, but how old were you? This is for everybody here. How old were you the first time you smoked any tobacco product?
Third grade.
Tobacco?
So third grade?
I tried a cigarette, third grade.
Who was it, older brother?
Those were the days.
No, elementary school up in the mountains, North Carolina, tobacco everywhere.
It's everywhere, man.
And tried it, did not like it.
Growing right outside my door.
That was it.
Growing up.
How about you, Joseph?
Oh, man, it'd have been late for me. It would have been, I was probably 22 years old, somewhere around there.
Late.
College, yeah. I would imbibe the spirits around that time. And I never really loved it, man. It was never really my favorite. Even still, not my favorite thing.
Cassandra, I know you like to have a nice flavored tobacco cigar every now and again.
I mean, I'm a weenie with asthma. I was definitely in my 20s, but the smell of grape Swisher Sweets definitely brings me back to high school.
I saw
What high school did you go to?
That's exactly. North Dakota, we have no rules, no.
For a long time now, I try to buy some nice cigars, and have them around, but every now and again, man, a Swisher Sweet or a
Black and Mild.
A Black and Mild is delicious, we've been doing these vanilla backwoods. They're pretty good too, man. But why come
we've
when
just the people.
Okay.
The people.
When you visit Swansboro, there's a really cool cigar lounge. It's got like an indoor lounge and an outdoor lounge.
Nice.
In my cute little downtown area. You'll have to check it out.
There's a couple in Raleigh too, and you go in and you have a cigar. Delicious, man. Delicious. I was surprised that we were going to, as a society, we were coming down this hard on flavored tobacco products. Because even I think in some of the states, menthol's included, right? Which I won't consider menthol. I guess it is a flavored tobacco, but I don't really consider it to be personally. But anyway, the Supreme Court, and Cassandra, you were reading about this, but the Supreme Court got asked to review a case where R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, a local company, was looking to block passage of this, or I guess it already passed, but enforcement of this bill, this law in California that would ban flavored tobacco.
Yeah, so the law is, now going to go into effect sometime in the next week. But R.J. Reynolds had filed an emergency application for writ of injunction And that's what the Supreme Court turned that down. They are not going to injunct this law. So no more Swisher Sweets in California.
That's crazy. You can still smoke all the weed you want, though. You know?
And think about the flavors involved there that they have available in various edible products. How are those?
Oh, edibles and then non-edibles.
Child marketed, less child friendly than flavored tobacco. I don't know. It's a weird line to draw.
The logic does kind of fall apart.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And the problem, I guess, if you think this is good or you think this is bad, when California makes these kind of decisions, their state economy is so large. A lot of these retailers, it drives, even if North Carolina is all for flavored tobacco, it drives how these things will get produced, and it changes what's profitable and not profitable. So when California bans something, a lot of times we see the effects kind of dribble down here. I think there's going to be a lot of people like running around desperately looking for flavored tobacco.
It's interesting, man, because they're talking about there's this what prompted the law was they're saying there's a drastic uptick in tobacco use in young people, but I don't know, man. How do you class? I guess that's strictly tobacco use. Like, we're not talking about nicotine vapes. Like, we're talking about strictly tobacco. I don't see it, man. I guess I don't spend a lot of time hanging out with many teenage children other than my kids who aren't teens yet.
This does apply to vaping products as well.
I think that makes more sense.
I think it's the vaping that was the bad guy.
Yeah, that's got to be it then. Because I was going to say
and they're just lumping in our Swisher Sweets.
I don't think these teens are smashing vanilla backwoods. Like it's going out of style.
I think vaping, we just got lumped in with like the bad kid. Like vaping's the bad kid, and we were just around.
Yeah, I don't want any of that popcorn lung. I heard that's bad for you.
It sounds
It does
terrible.
sound terrible. I don't even know what it is. I don't want it though. I will eat popcorn, but popcorn lung, no, thank you.
But anyway, so in California, flavored tobacco, I guess falling out of favor. Joseph, your favorite tobacco product of all time?
Tobacco product, period?
Yeah.
Have you heard of these things, these cigarettes they make? No, I don't know, man. I don't know that I've got a favorite. If I have, okay, I got to pick a favorite. Come back to me.
In law school, we'd have in law school when we were trying to stay up to study, man, we had the Lucky Strikes, the unfiltered.
They get you going.
Yeah. A lot of nicotine.
You come back to me. Come to me at the end.
You ever, Morgan? You ever do any?
Yes. Don't laugh like that.
I just the way you said yes. It's like you could taste it. Like
so my story is this. My first broadcasting job was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right out of University of North Carolina. Spent about 6 years down there working for a rock radio station. And the first week I was there, I was the news and sports director and sidekick on the morning show. And a guy comes in and they say, hey, you're the sports guy. You've got to do this golf minute thing. And they had a pro come in. And the pro's like, where do you play? And I go, I haven't picked up the game yet. And I was 23. And he said, dude, I'm going to bring you an old set of our practice clubs and just start talking about it on the morning show. And I guarantee you're going to start playing. And sure enough, all the pros listened to the rock station, got the invites. But I found out very quickly in the summer, if you go play golf, the bugs are horrible, right? And I got a tip from a golf pro. He says, dude, if you take a cigar with you and just light it up when you start, they're not going to hang around you at all. And I started not really smoking the cigar, but I had the cigar burning. And, eventually I got into swapping cigars with my college roommate and cigar aficionado and, following those things. And, every now and then partake, but nothing that I would call, a routine.
Man, I'm sitting here listening to that and I'm addicted to cigars now, just from hearing that story. Well, I'm going to go buy some.
When I get home tonight, I am definitely going to have a cigar.
What's your favorite? And then Cassandra, and then me.
I like the cheap cigars. Like I like a good nice cigar, but the cheap ones like the Swisher Sweets, the Backwoods, the Black and Milds.
Yeah.
I mean those,
Yeah, that you gave like 3. We'll give you credit. No problem.
And Cassandra is she said she's never been a big smoker,
but she's done it.
So my sidestep of the question a little bit. My most recent attempted endeavor into the nicotine world was the little nicotine packets you put in your mouth.
You skipped a lot of steps.
Those are well.
They'll make you dizzy.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that your answer? Really going to be gum? Nicorette?
And those are flavored. I wonder if those are included in this. I haven't seen anything to indicate they're flavored, they're nicotine. They
I didn't even think
are,
about
right?
Yeah, I didn't even think about chewing tobacco.
That's one of your
Or chewing
products
gum.
too, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of you two. I found a stash in the suite one day.
Ah, you got me.
I used to again, when I had to stay up very late and study, like Levi, I had some Levi Garrett I would keep around, just for.
You ever heard of Big League Chew?
Yeah.
That's what I used to
Familiar
do.
with
I think I was cool. Other than that, no chewing tobacco.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's straight bubble gum.
My tobacco use has been very. If you put a gun to my head right now, and you said you got to pick, I'm gonna go Black and Mild too.
Yeah.
Just because I got fond memories of like friends who would smoke Black and Milds, not because I cared that much about it myself.
Morgan, chewing tobacco?
One bad experience, probably around third grade.
Yeah.
First day of school up in the mountains of North Carolina. We had just moved in from, I want to say, Kentucky, and had not had any tobacco exposure. And a kid came in and he had a pack of Big Red, Red Man tobacco, and he said, "You want a chaw?" And he took out this big wad and he handed it to me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it, so I swallowed it.
God, now I want
and
to
got
do that
severely sick.
Morgan, when you tell a story, it makes me want to do that thing.
You don't want to do that.
I got real quick. This is my why I don't like tobacco smoking story. I never got into it. My mom smoked. And I love my mom. She smoked all the time. So she like picked me up from school smoking constantly, and she would ash in cans. Like you used to have cans. So I loved Sunkist, right? So I'd drink a Sunkist, and it was sitting up front, and she had been ashing in it for like however long. And I got in the car after school one day, and I was like, I'm so thirsty. Like, give me this Sunkist. And I just took a throat full of ashes down. And so from that point on, I was like, you know what? I don't think I like smoking that much.
Well, I feel like we all need a smoke break right now, so we'll go ahead and take a break.
All right. The Outlaw Lawyers, Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, managing partners, Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. Also on the program today, Cassandra Nichols in the office at Morehead City. And speaking of convenience, they have offices located in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay-Varina, and Gastonia, as well as Morehead City. If you have a situation you're facing, a legal situation, you've got questions, you can always call the firm, 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186, and you can leave your contact information, briefly what the call's about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can always email your questions to the show. We'll answer them on a future program, and that's questions@theoutlawlawyer.com. When we come back, we'll get into this Respect for Marriage Act. That's all coming up next on The Outlaw Lawyer.